Idea what's happening here, guys. Hey, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, one and all, and welcome to NUFC Talk TV with me, the mighty Win, breaking his virginity and hosting the show for the very first time. So, welcome along, and let's see how it all goes. Welcome, Borky, welcome, Andy, welcome, Jefferson, and welcome, Rowley. Do a bit housework first, the usual things. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Helps the channel grow. Costs you nothing. Nada. Zilch. All for free. And it really helps us along. I can see there's nobody in the chat at the minute. I hope we are actually live.
Yeah, we're live, I think, yeah.
We are definitely live? Because there doesn't appear to be anyone in. Oh, there's one in now. That's okay. There's at least one in.
I think there's
That's
a lot
good.
of other channels live at the minute, mate.
And there's nobody on the chat. Anyway, as I was saying, hit the like button. If you have Andrew Barwick's in there. Hello, Andrew. Good evening. Thanks for joining. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Oh, they're coming in thick and fast now. Lovely jubbly. Lovely jubbly. It's not me messing up the works. So, welcome one and all. Hopefully tonight we're going to have a lively show because me and Jefferson's going to be no doubt going hammer and tongs on some topic or other, as we have been doing all day on the WhatsApp forum.
Said he'd go gentle on you though, with it being your first time win. So
You what, sorry?
he said he would go gentle on you with it being your first time. So
Right, well, no need for that.
Fire escape in the housekeeping Win.
There's plenty in the chat already, but if you've got anything you want to say, get in the chat and join us. We'll read as many out as we can that are relevant. If you want to get your chat definitely shown on screen, hit the super chat. And if you want to invite someone else to become a member, which helps us greatly, join the member, hit the members join button on the chat, etc., etc. You know the drill. You know the drill. You've heard it often enough.
So can you see me, guys?
Yeah. Can you not see us?
I can see you, but it just says that I'm offline on mine.
No. You're fully in the picture. I'll just double check. There you go. Are you there? You see yourself now, Rolly?
No, but don't worry.
Oh well, we can see you, so don't get up to anything that you shouldn't be doing.
you're not missing much.
Tonight, when you're not alone, you've got your sidekick with you, so you'll have backup.
Yeah, he's keep. Wait a minute. Let's do that. See what happens if I do that. Well, at least we've got a banner there. Looks slightly more professional, doesn't it? Yeah, you see what I can do, man. I tell you, old hand now. Anyway, let's get down to it. Not a word yet, officially, from the club about Anthony Elanga, which is absolutely crazy, is it not? Wait a minute, how do I do this again?
Something tells me it might be a long night.
It's going to be a long night. Let's get this up there. Get that in there. Get that up there. And get that in there. That's it. But what we do have is completely unofficial footage of Mr. Elanga arriving at the training ground.
Courtesy of Adam P, wasn't it?
What, sorry?
I think it was.
And then the security comes along and says, "No, you don't. Oh, no, you don't." So there you go. Get that off there for the time being. Go back to there. Go back to there. And go back to there. You see, these lads are clever, you know, when they do what they do, without stumbling across their words or making any changes like that. You know, congratulations to Chris and to Gaz when they do this. Oh, there's Rolly gone off this time, definitely. Oh, are you back, Rolly?
Yeah, I was just saying because I can't see it on my screen, but if you can see me, that's fine.
Have you tried refreshing?
No, what I can do is log back on again.
Yeah, or just refresh.
Let's refresh. See.
Yeah. Anyway, the point I'm making is not a word officially from the club. And yet every major newspaper, every reporting source, Sky News, all reporting it, but nothing from the club. And it strikes me that since Amanda left the club, the PR has been absolutely atrocious. And I wondered what you lads thought about that. Because the anguish, for want of a better expression, that it's caused, because it's a month now since the kind of mini window, the Cartel 6 window opened in June. And obviously, all the fans have been up in arms about why are we not signing anybody? Why? Eddie said, and all this nonsense. So, what do you lads think about the current state of the PR at the club? Andy, what do you reckon?
Well, I think there's no surprise. You know, we're hearing quite a few more reports today that we're stepping up things to try and get Trafford over the line. Maybe they're just holding off to doing double announcement. We all know Elanga's signing. He's been spotted. Yeah, he's been spotted at the training ground. I'm sure the medical's probably been done. They've probably been doing some of the private photos for his signing, and then maybe just a case of waiting for Trafford to get you and do a double announcement. But I do agree.
Well, that's one
I do
aspect
agree
of
with
that.
you, mate. It's as transparent as mud. Like I said to you before the show, all we really want is some form of statement from the club to say, look, we're happy to announce that Elanga will be signing in due course. A press conference or a production is going to be given in due course.
Yeah. What about you, Jefferson? Because you've been screaming the roof down about no signings and
Yeah, delighted and relieved to get someone through the door. Obviously, we've got to cross the I's, dot the T's probably. But I definitely agree with you in terms of the comms since Amanda's gone. I think Amanda very much had that sense of emotional bonding with the fans.
yeah.
And that's something that we definitely need to get better at because people do have anxiety, and we've all talked about it many times about us having PTSD after all the years of suffering we've been through. So now we're in the promised land a little bit. It'll be good to have some consistent comms. But yeah, kind of like what Andy said, I just think they're dotting the I's, crossing the T's, doing all the paraphernalia, the little videos and all that. So he's probably even picking what squad number he wants and, all these little things. So yeah, I reckon maybe tomorrow we'll hear something.
Yeah. Rolly, PR,
Yeah,
or lack of it.
I think the part of the problem is we're so spoiled when Amanda was at the club because we had so much information coming out of the club that you actually really feel it now it's stopped.
Yeah, but strangely, even though I had all that information coming out, so everybody felt informed and felt part of it, we were still pulling. It's not like that was preventing them pulling deals out of the hat. Because there was still, people say the reason they're doing it is because they don't want to advertise their targets and increase, interest in them, etc., etc., etc. Well, personally, I think that's a load of nonsense anyway, because as soon as you're interested in a player and make an official inquiry about him, his agent is going to be, on the phone to Fabrizio Romano saying, "Oh, Newcastle United are in for mine,"
and
and
Todd
then,
Gurley.
well, of course, as soon as he releases it, that's when you get the competition. So I just don't think that the PR between the club and the fans is going to interfere with transfer business one little bit, and I just think it's something that they're sadly lacking since Amanda went. As you say, we were spoiled when she was here. Borky, what do you reckon?
2 points on this one. I think the first one is you do as a club have to show respect to the selling club in regards to not releasing the fact that you've got the lad until he's here. So you can't say you're sort of pending signing somebody. You've got to have signed them and have them over the line before you can release anything, just to show respect to the selling club. I think that's a general rule throughout.
Yeah, but surely if he's here, getting the medical, he's
But again, you can't come out and do a press release until everything's complete and sort of.
Well,
I agree that we need to have better communication.
the club could at least admit or confirm, whichever word you want to use, that Anthony Elanga is taking a medical today.
But would should that club do that? Would should that club say that the pendant signing somebody? It's not the done thing. That the professional way to do it is you see you've signed somebody when they've actually signed, and they're not a player for that club. Because technically, if he hasn't signed yet, he's still a Nottingham Forest player, and you've got to be respectful to Nottingham Forest.
I totally agree. You run the risk of looking rather silly if, for example, Forest pull the plug because they don't want to lose both Gibbs White and Elanga. I totally agree with him, mate.
And the other side of the coin is as well, who is that actually speak at Newcastle at the moment about things? I mean, we don't have a director of football, as we know. We're going back over old ground, but you don't have a fully functioning CEO. So who actually is there to actually come out and say this is what's going on?
Well, who's the guy that sits next to Eddie at the press conference? If he's the official PR guy, he could be given official press releases. They could at least have someone on the website.
Oh, they could, but as I say, you've got to keep it professional. As I said, the main point is until he's actually, as you say, dotted the I's, crossed the T's, then you can't release anything because it is disrespectful to the other club.
Well. There's one person who's very happy anyway, and that's Mr. Shearer, who's speaking on the Elanga deal. And he's saying, very happy. I said the other day I was a little bit concerned with the lack of activity coming out in Newcastle, but it looks as if things are starting to move. I'm pretty sure we'll get it over the line. I think it's a good signing. He's rapid. He'll work really, really well with Isaac because they obviously know each other. So, yeah, I am really happy with that. So that's the seal of approval from Mr. Shearer.
Super Al.
Good for all. Now then, next on the agenda, reported in various places today. If I can find it. Here we go. This is all good technical stuff, this, lads, you know.
It's as smooth as butter.
It's as smooth as grit. That's good.
Practice makes permanent win. You'll be fine.
Here we go. And this is in the Football Insider, reported by Mick Brown. Newcastle United are interested in a move to bring athletic midfielder Conor Gallagher back to the Premier League this summer. That's according to former Man United and Sunderland chief scout Mick Brown, who remains very well connected within the game. He says Gallagher's in a tricky situation. Although the exits of Rodrigo Riquelme and Thomas Lemar reduced Atletico's depth, the arrival of Baena and Cardoso, who's allegedly on the way, do leave Gallagher on the outside looking in at the starting 11. And it looks as though it's going to be difficult for him to get a place. And that's repeated in Football España. Atletico Madrid, because they are saying he's been offered the Premier League clubs, including Aston Villa, but they also mention Newcastle United, and they're saying that there's going to be an asking price of no less than 50 million euros. They paid 42 million euros for him,
So
and they're saying they want 50 million.
That's £43 million. I just did the calculation.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. And there was an interesting question in WhatsApp today saying compare him and Tonali. So there we have it. There's your comparison. That's and to be fair, that is Gallagher's not last season at Atletico, but that's his last season, the full season that he played at Chelsea, which was what persuaded Atletico to pay the money. And, you know, we thought Tonali was all over the place, but my God, this kid's all over the place as well. And he played that season, he played 37 games, and I've compared him with Tonali last season. So 23-24 for Gallagher at Chelsea in the Prem, and 24-25 for Tonali in the Prem. Tonali played 36 games, Gallagher 37. 3,000 minutes as opposed to 2,600 minutes. And if you look at the stats, they look all good for Mr. Gallagher, I can tell you. 5 goals as opposed to 4 goals. Not that that's what he's there to do, but his 5 goals came from 4.2 XG as opposed to Sandro's 4 from 4.4. So he exceeded XG. Sandro fell just short. Everything else, those stats, pretty much of a muchness. Defending, more interceptions per 90 than Sandro, more tackles per 90 than Sandro. He did get dribbled past more often than Sandro, but again, very, very similar stats. Passing accuracy, you know, Gallagher's in the lead all the way, and so it's a really, really good fit. Now, in the chat again this afternoon, I was very happy with us being linked with him, because I think he does give us a bit of versatility in the... I'm just going to get these back off again. So we can see your lovely smiling faces. There you go. And there was a lot of anti-Gallagher sentiment, and largely based on what he's done in La Liga.
I think part of it is when you're comparing him to Tonali. If you bring him in, is he going to be more of a replacement for Joe Linton?
Yeah, that would have been my thought.
But
that he'd be someone that is spelled Joe Linton rather than Tonali.
Yeah.
The beauty for me is he covers every one of them.
He does. But I'm saying
that don't matter though. That don't matter. If you look at the context between the two, you're looking at Gallagher when Chelsea were arguably in disarray. and you see that they've matured more. Remember that Chelsea were in disarray, and then towards the end of the season they picked up form, and then obviously they overtook us, right? So they picked up form towards the end of the season. So if you look at the context, he was one of the more senior players in a huge bunch of players that have been brought together who were quite young. So he was the captain. He had to take a leading role.
That's
And what
right.
Conor Gallagher does give you is a lot of energy. He will run. And I feel like we're more progressive than that now, or at least we're looking to become more progressive than that now. So if we're going to improve on Joe Linton, I want to see more than just energy.
I think we're actually making the wrong comparison, because if we're going to be getting a Conor Gallagher, it's going to be because Sean Longstaff has left. And comparing him to Tonali, or we should be looking at how he improves the squad by replacing Longstaff and where he can fit in, rather than comparing him to the starters, because we have essentially the best midfield three in the league. So we're looking at people that can step in and spell them. So we should be comparing on what improvement he makes to the squad, as opposed to who you think he might replace.
Here.
Let's not forget as well. I mean, we've got to remember he was at Palace and he was an integral part of them, and they had a good season.
Yeah.
He's a further forward sitting midfielder, in my opinion, than Tonali. So as much as I can understand why Wynn's doing the comparison, you look at his heat map there. His red areas are another 10 yards further forward than Tonali's, because Tonali will break from that position, whereas Conor Gallagher will be setting a press higher up. He is effective from outside the box. He is a little bit of a menace in the box when there's crosses coming in. He'll always get you a goal in the box. But I agree with what Rolly's saying there. Is predominantly he's probably for one of them three needed rests. He'll get plenty of games, but he's not really going to be the first midfielder on the team.
He'd improve the squad,
Yeah,
but he's not going to replace
43
any of
million
that
quid
stuff.
though. For
Yeah,
this, is what I'm saying, our transfer strategy's got improved, because I know we've just paid 55 million for Elanga. I'm going to try my best not to criticise that, because I actually think there are some positives in there, but we were desperate. Hopefully now we can compose ourselves. We can't splash the cash on players that aren't even going to start in the team. And I think what we got to look at is, I've raised it in the group. It came up in the Athletic video of sensible transfers. Players like Javi Guerra, who are only 21 years old. Valencia are desperate for cash. You're looking at 25 million there, high ceiling, perfect for Eddie to work on. And if we do lose Joe Linton from injuries, you've got a squad player to step in, and you've saved yourself 20 million there instantly.
Yeah.
So this is
but if J7 does get injured, and let's be honest, he is becoming more injury prone, I would far rather have a player who's proven himself, as you rightly say, in a Chelsea side that ended up, even though it was in disarray, with a new manager who was experimenting. Gallagher was ever present, and as you say, the leader of the squad, getting brilliant numbers every game, and widely acknowledged as being a lot of Chelsea fans who didn't rate him suddenly began to rate him that season. Unfortunately, the manager didn't. But I would far rather have a proven Gallagher coming in to replace J7 than a punt for the sake of saving 20 million.
What we need to do is get out of this mindset as well that we're bringing players that Eddie can improve.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree, but we shouldn't be right now. We shouldn't be talking about
at this
project
point now.
players.
We need players who can actually be an influence on the first team, especially the amount of games we're going to be playing next season. So this whole Eddie Howe can improve players. Yeah, great, probably he can, but that's not what we need at the minute. We need first team players that are ready to go straight into the team and can.
I just went to your thinking, and you didn't agree with me.
I just need to show this, and yes, this is Steve, by the way, saying, by the way, Forest have pulled the plug on the Elanga deal at the last second because Spurs have triggered Gibbs White release clause. Well, I'd love to know where you read that, Steve, by the way. So if you can let us know somewhere in the chat, we'll have a look at it.
You've also got to look at the carrot that's dangled in front of Gallagher as well for the World Cup. He's going to be eager to, playing in the Champions League.
He wants minutes.
he's
I mean, you might think he's not going to get them here, which would be a disincentive for him to come here.
I think the other thing that we need to start thinking about, when you look at our first starting 11, it's as good as, on its day, it's as good as anything in the league. So if we want to improve the squad and we want quality players that can step in, we are going to have to be paying, especially in this market, 30, 40 million for players that aren't going to start.
I agree. I think what could happen, or what
No,
arguably should happen.
so you really, were you saying we shouldn't be paying 40 million
No,
for players?
Good.
I think we're going to have to be
Yeah,
paying
absolutely.
for players that can spell the likes of Bruno or something, because
Yeah, we're getting into a good position
projects.
in terms of what have been expensive replacements. If you reckon that the likes of Barnes is a replacement for Gordon, or even if you do it the other way around, the formula still works. Elanga for Murphy, not so much, because obviously Murphy is essentially homegrown, really, isn't he? But you've got, Byrne, who came in for money, Botman, who came in for more, and that's where we need to be. Trippier, who came in for money, and Livramento, who came in for money. You've got Target, who came in, and Lewis Hall, and so on and so forth. So, I think we've got to be talking about paying 50 so that the drop down in class when we bring a sub on isn't as severe as what it is right now.
But I think also with Conor Gallagher as well, what you have got to look at is age. I'm guessing he's around 24, 25. Again, it's all part of trying to bring the average age of the squad down, which is part of what we have to do as well. We do have a lot of aging players, and the big part of it is starting to get like an influx of players who are at the right age to be able to actually change the team.
I think if we're going to pay money rather than just having a runner, because, he's got an occasional shot from outside the box, but he's not going to give us anything more brilliant than an academy player can give us. Someone like Travis Hearns, he's been on loan in Denmark or wherever. You ask a young lad to run, he'll run. We need to get past this. We're in the Champions League now. Competition's going to be tough for top 6, let alone top 4. We need some real quality on the ball. And what I would say is this: I agree with Rolly's point that if we're going to bring someone in and we're actually going to spend money, I'd rather get someone like Edison in, who is also class, a Brazilian international, and would actually go into the first team. Joe Linton would go to the bench for me if he comes in. So actually, are we looking at players that will then take the place of existing first team players, where the first team players then become the squad players? That would be quite something as well.
That would be my ideal scenario.
Spend it wisely.
25 Conor Gallagher is.
Which is the perfect age, really, for signing.
Perfect age. Yeah. Coming into his prime.
Edison's a cracking player.
But how old is Edison? He's a bit older, isn't he?
25, 26, I think. But he's...
Tim Vickery, the South American expert, described him as a Joe Linton Bruno hybrid.
Yeah.
So he brings the physicality of Joe Linton and energy, but he's got the calmness in possession. He can thread the ball through. Obviously, he won the Europa League with Atalanta last season. And I think really there was rumours we were interested, but Atalanta were asking for like 60 million at the time.
And I won't say I told you so, but I was shouting out for Edison in 2023.
Wow.
Check the receipts.
You could play him anywhere other than really the wide positions or up front for me. You could play him right back, your left back. He's just a top player.
What about there's been some weird rumours going around, and this again relates to the fact that Eddie seems very, very reluctant to use the loan market. And let's talk about us getting a player on loan from Real Madrid. Can you believe?
Is this Rodrigo?
No, it's not.
Is it the striker? Is it that Is it Fran Garcia or something? Or
No.
Adigula, the Turkish kid.
Hendrick? Is it Hendrick?
Hendrick, aye.
Yeah, man. Pele
Current
regen.
current Brazilian international.
I'll be happy with
And
that.
by all accounts, Madrid are interested.
I think the thing with loans is it all depends on the terms of the loans. I mean, we have terrible problems when we loan the youngsters out and they don't get playing times. Now, if you've got one of the more high-profile people coming from somewhere like Madrid, they might want to dictate how much playing time they have, and that's probably one of the things that they would put me off. If you say you've got to play him, well, if he's not cutting it, you don't want to play him. Again, the other thing is, especially in this PSR world, which I hate talking about, but you have to, is there a loan fee and how much that is? Because that cuts into purchasing new players. So the pros and cons about the loan. I mean, it's perfect for someone like Lewis Hall, so you can have them for a year and then buy them afterwards, almost like try before you buy, and you can develop them and then get them at a reasonable price. But for more established or older players, I think you have to tread carefully and be selective. I mean, obviously Villa got Rashford, and his wages were, although Man United have paid a fair part of his wages, but they got him in to get him into the Champions League, and it didn't work. So it can be very hit and miss.
You also have to remember the likes of, we've seen it ourselves, that if you do go for a loan, a lot of clubs want you to have you've got to buy them at the end of the loan deal. And I think Juventus is a big thing on that with the Kelly deal, wasn't it? That in the end they didn't actually want him by the look of it, but because they'd signed up to the loan, they dumped with him. So,
Well, I mean, to be fair, they could have avoided the loan deal if they didn't play him. So they obviously did feel he was worth playing.
I don't know if it was through playing or whether it was where they
I
finished.
think that the fans went off him for a while. I know that from the social media. But then, to me, they all appear to get back on board because, I mean, because I don't watch a lot of Italian football unless it's got a specific interest for me. But Kelly, so therefore, the reason I'm saying that is because so you can only go on stats.
Yeah.
And if you look at his stats, he was one of the top performers, and it didn't matter which site you look at. Kelly was one of the top performers in the team. So the Juventus weren't playing particularly well, but he was still one of the best performers by whichever metric they were using.
Would you want him back?
I wouldn't want him back. No, I think it's a good. It was good that we had a look at him because I mean, a lot of the Bournemouth fans again, they were really upset that we got him on a free. They said he would play for England.
The year before, when there was talk of Arsenal signing him, he was going to be a future England captain. So,
Well, Spurs and Liverpool were both after him at the same time we were.
that's it. I mean,
It's
for
not
me,
that-
you just have
I'm not disagreeing with what the club did with them. I think they were completely right what they did. But as I say, the point I'm making is around loan deals, that you've got to be careful with this trigger to have to buy them at the end. If that's what that club want. I think, to be honest, loan deals seem to be going out the window a little bit at the minute for bigger clubs.
Berkey, I don't. You see, with Hendrick, it's a unique situation. I think he's unfortunate that number one, Xavi Alonso's taken over, and he's more likely to be biased to Spanish players. However, this youngster he's brought up from Castilla has really impressed. I think he's got 4 goals in 5 games or something. They're talking about him being the next Raul. His physical attributes look really good as well. The thing with Hendrick, obviously, he came in with bundles of potential. They bought him when he was 16. He's effectively, from what I've seen, a Pele regen. He's got a lot of the sort of same style and attributes. And if coached well, he could be the world's next big star. I mean, we saw him scoring his debut against England at Wembley for Brazil. So he's got the talent. If you look at when he's played, he's come off the bench or played in cup games. But unfortunately, there's a bit of the media circus that follows him because of his fame. There's the whole thing with his young, I don't know if they're married, fiance or wife as well. All that sort of stuff that comes with it. But
What a
again,
place to come.
that Eddie could work with. He could end
Well,
up being
not just Eddie.
hero on Tyneside.
He's
But
got
again,
Bruno in J7 there as well.
we're going back to the point as well that we're expecting Eddie to improve players.
I know.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Whoa, hang on here, because we're talking about Eddie improving a current Brazil international. You know, you're not actually talking about him needing to improve Hendrick. At least I don't think so. I think he's tremendous.
I think Real Madrid just signed a wonder kid from Argentina as well, who they think is going to be the next Messi.
But the other thing,
I wouldn't be the next Messi.
Dana or something he's called. It's apparently he's 16-year-old. I reckon he's the next superstar. You have a look at on the transfers win for Real this year. He's got a big long name. I cannot pronounce it.
Oh no, you're on about with all the years in from that Chris has been raving about.
That'll be him. Apparently,
Mascherano, they got him from River Plate for like 35 million, I think.
That's
him. Apparently,
Mastodon.
Hang on, Real Madrid saying.
So I don't know what
amongst yourselves.
Henrik's below 20, isn't he? He's about.
He's only 18.
Yeah, he's literally 18 or 17.
So if you're going to go for a player like that, you're not just going and try to buy him.
Real Madrid paid 75 mil, so they probably want all their money back.
Franco Mastantuono.
Okay.
Mastantuono from River Plate. 45 million to play. 18.
But in all seriousness, with that type of player, if you bring him in on a loan and he has a great season, we're never going to get him. As I said, do you not go in and just think, right, we'll bite the bullet. If that's who we want, we'll go in and buy him?
The brand deals that he's got as well, the price would just be ridiculous because all the branding is going to go to Newcastle, so the commercial value that he'd bring as well is quite eye-watering, I would imagine. I'm not going to portray to be an expert in them areas, but I can imagine you'd be looking to break our transfer record if you had a good season for that is, you'd have to break our record, I think.
Well, if you had a good season, you wouldn't mind breaking our record. Because let's face it, our transfer record at the minute isn't that pretty high.
But that's exactly the point. If he comes in and has a brilliant season and sets the world on light, is he going to sign for? You know, are you just giving?
Well, that's my reservation. That's exactly my reservation, Bogey. Yeah. He comes in, and as you say, working with Eddie, and you know, and he knocks doors out of windows. Can we then retain him, or does he become like a one-season wonder?
But if you sign him,
can he get the bug? Can he get it?
And we're still going back to Eddie and
Champions League. But if he got us Champions League, that might be job done, fee paid. Because based on what you get for Champions League these days, it'll be like, oh, thank you very much. You know?
Yeah.
You never know.
I've not seen anything about these links, by the way, to Hendrick. I don't know where you got that win from, but I'm all happy to hear it. Like,
where did I get it from? I was watching one show last night.
We don't want to know what you were watching last night.
Hendrick loan deal.
He was doing that as well when he was watching it.
Oh, being sports. Being sports, Sports Illustrated, being news, goal.com, Real Madrid open to sending quote-unquote untransferable forward on loan.
I don't see him selling him. I don't at all.
No. As I said, it was mooted as a loan deal because I prefaced the whole thing by saying Eddie, by nature, I think, is very definitely not sort of inclined to do loan deals unless they are specifically with options to buy.
But you know, Asensio did really well at Villa. You know, he added that little bit of class they needed, you know, to reinvigorate their season when they got knocked out of Champions League. He showed his class. 3 times Champions League winner. You know, there must be players available like that where teams have got bulky squads and they're looking to either offload players or loan players.
And yet, with all that brilliant business that Villa did in the summer, they still finished up below us. There you go.
Because of Man United. I'd rather not think about it because I think we got lucky. I'd rather not think about it, to be honest.
They made up for beating Man
Games
City.
are over a season.
We're not going to rake over old coals, but you don't get lucky over 38 games.
100%.
Get unlucky though when
finish.
Man United beat Man City in the FA Cup and we miss out on Europe. I think they just made up for that, didn't they? Just about.
Yeah. Anyway,
Made my Christmas card list just about.
moving on rapidly to a subject that created quite a bit of debate this afternoon, and we were talking about potential achievements, a Mount Rushmore in the achievements. Who would be on it? 4 Newcastle legends who deserve a place on Mount Rushmore. And the debate was sparked by somebody saying Bruno should have a statue, and there's a whole lot of nonsense about statues began. But Mount Rushmore specifically, who would you have Mount Rushmore of Newcastle United legends be?
This players or managers?
Let's stick with players for the time being.
Because you think of the players that you have to leave out. Well, obviously, you're looking at Alan Shearer. You're looking at
There's a first name put forward, Alan Shearer. Would
We'll
Alan
all agree
Shearer?
on that, no. We'll all kind of agree that he's a record goal scorer. We're going to have Shearer.
Exactly,
Milden.
and done largely, not completely, but largely in a black and white shirt. World record transfer fee, signed for us, coming back to his hometown club again. I think it's a given. Is there anybody at all who would debate that Shearer would be on there?
No, definitely not.
No. Okay, so there's our first one, Alan Shearer.
What we're basing this on, is it just simply what they did for the
Just
club?
I think importance to Newcastle United. And I think just to keep it sensible, we'll stick to this side of the Second World War.
Right.
Okay.
Because obviously none of the squads that followed have won the league, have won cups the way the pre-war teams did. The Edwardian team in particular, with Veach and McMichael and you name them.
Bobby Moncur.
Yeah, I was thinking Bobby Moncur. Gary Milburn's got to be, surely.
Second to Shearer, so makes sense.
Peter Beardsley.
Jackie Milburn.
Massive
What's Jackie Milburn got to offer? 3 FA Cups.
Yeah.
Was record goal scorer. I think Milburn.
200 goals. All for the tune. So, would we? And he's got a statue already, by the way. Does anybody think that Milburn shouldn't be in there?
No, I don't think there's any argument against him.
He's got a stand named after him.
Yep.
Hughie Gallagher's before the war, wasn't he?
He was.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Peter Beardsley's a good shout.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout, mate.
It's
Twinkle
just
toes.
the Chisley shit, isn't it?
The only thing I would say about Beardsley is that, because if you're talking about super world-class players who we've had on our books for a period of time, Beardsley certainly comes into that category. And when he came back, he was pivotal, absolutely pivotal in what Kevin Keegan was able to achieve.
Now there's a name that, though he only played for us for a short time, then came back to manage us. I think Devon Keegan's got to be on there, because at the time that he joined us, we were wallowing in the middle of what was then the second division,
Yeah.
and he got us promoted.
Well, let's for the time being talk about Beardsley still, because he left us for a huge fee, £2 million we got at the time, which was massive. But he left us to go to Liverpool and win stuff, which he did. He went there and he won stuff. We got him back. We didn't get him back in his prime even. He was still magnificent when he came back.
Yeah.
But we didn't see him in his prime. We didn't see him when he was playing for England. Well, largely.
Just on that win, did
So,
you?
so that's the only sort of.
But he had a record win that didn't it only just recently got beaten. I can't remember who by. Him and Andy Cole had the highest attacking combination duo of goals. Was it 56 goals between the two of them in one season or something like that?
That's correct. Yeah.
Plus Gary Lineker. If you listen, this was an interview we did a few years ago, but they said to him, "How did you score 49 goals for England?" And he says, "Well, the majority because I was playing with Peter Beardsley up front."
Yeah. and again, what I would rate that with is that was for England, not for Newcastle.
But it's just showing what type of player.
Listen, Peter Beardsley is one of the very best footballers I've ever seen in a black and white shirt. And that was both before he left and when he came back. He was.
I remember I was young when did he come back? It was 93, 92 when he come back, wasn't it?
93.
I was about 7, 8 year old, and he was the best player I'd seen in Newcastle until I hit my teens. So, yeah, I've got no objections in being on. If it's player only, I think he was brilliant, considering he was in the twilight of his career as well. Then,
I went to
little bit left field as well, but you've also got Rob Lee.
Yeah, he's a big one as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Let's go with Beardsley, because remember we've only got 4.
We've already got.
We've only got 4, and we've already had 2 of them, so there's only 2 spaces left.
For me, Beardsley gets on there for me, if I'm perfectly honest.
So we've got 1 vote for Beardsley.
2
vote for Beardsley.
I'm undecided.
3. Well, he's not there for me, I'm afraid. If he'd been with us for his whole career, he probably would have been.
Well, isn't democracy winning if it's 3 win? So you're outvoted, pal.
Wins a dictator.
Yeah. Well, no, because it depends how many the rest of them get.
Yeah.
You missed it. Just the stop bit's the right bit.
So there's Beardsley 3. What about Rob Lee? And listen, get involved in the chat as well.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Let's see. I've been ignoring the chat, to be fair. We've got Craven saying Shea Given.
Shea Given, yeah, good one.
I would give Gary Speed a shout as well, but you lot know I love Gary Speed, man. I still think he's the most complete midfielder the club's ever had. He could do everything, that guy.
I mean,
Peter Ramage.
For me, Bobby Moncur's got to be in there. You watch back his games.
I think
well, hang on then. Rob Lee. How many for Rob Lee?
As much as I love them, no.
I'm 50-50. I almost feel like we need a foreigner on there as well.
I love Rob Lee, and I brought him up because I didn't think we could have the discussion about his name, but he wouldn't get on there for me. He's not.
No.
So
Rob Lee's a no.
Standouts.
Shea Given was just put up. I think Shea Given's certainly the best goalie that we've had in my time at the club.
Yeah. Was he 1 appearance off the all-time record as well? One or 2 appearances off.
Yeah, he's second in the all-time appearances.
I would give a vote to Shea Given. I think he was
didn't win anything.
No, but he was a class above anything we've had before.
Yeah.
Could have been relegated if it wasn't for Shea, like, let's be honest.
But they used to say on Match of the Day he was worth 9 points a season for us based on how much he used to save us.
Yeah.
I used to
Oh, he
remember
was
that random
tremendous.
stat he used to say.
Plus, it puts a good looking face on the mountain as well.
But
What about
one of
Nobby?
the, one
What
of the
about Nobby?
four, not for me. Not for me.
What about Nobby?
You've got to feel sorry for me.
Nobody doesn't even get in the foothills.
No,
Never mind on the mountain. What about, it's already been mentioned, Bob Moncur?
Yeah, I think he's the obvious one.
I think he has to be in there.
You know, multiple hundreds of appearances skippered us to our only European victory.
up
Does
until
Bob,
March the 16th was the last player to lift the trophy for us.
As much as that's a compliment to the Kenzie family, I think you need to go to Specsavers because he's far handsomer than I am, especially at his age.
Peter Richardson saying Moncur gets a black mark for playing for the Mackhams.
No,
So did Beardsley, actually.
Yeah, and you got Barry Venison, Paul
Yeah.
Bracewell.
Yeah, Barry Venison, Chris Waddle.
I couldn't stand Chris Waddle. I don't know why I just got
But how many votes have we got for Bob Moncur?
me.
2. Because he didn't get
I'm
mine. No,
I feel
hard to
like-
bet.
I
Hard to
feel
bet,
like
Bob.
if we put Moncur in, we should take Milburn out.
No, I can't take Melbourne out.
Because Milburn and Shearer are effectively the same kind of thing, and Shearer surpassed him. So I feel like that slot is filled.
Shearer didn't
I feel like
surpass
we're
him with
missing a
Newcastle.
trick. I feel like we're missing a trick somewhere.
Yeah, but Jackie Milburn won 3 FA Cups for Newcastle.
Yeah, Shearer might have broke his goal scoring record, but he didn't surpass him. I agree with that win.
Yeah, you can't take Melbourne off.
You cannot take Milburn off.
No,
Not a
definitely
chance.
not.
What about Joe Harvey?
Never seen
3
him.
FA Cups and a European Cup.
Oh, that's big.
Albeit only 2 of them as a player. 2 as a player, 1 as a trainer, one as coach, and 1 as manager.
Combination there.
I think you're appealing to
And-
the more mature viewers there on that one win.
Well, listen, I think he should definitely have a statue at St James's Park instead of that plaque that he's got. I'm not saying the plaque on the wall isn't nice, but it doesn't do him justice when I see, for example, Bobby Robson, great man that he was, but his career was largely done away from Newcastle, whereas Joe Harvey's was done at Newcastle. And the statue was erected at Newcastle.
I've got the wife here pointing at David Janola's name. She's saying, mention that.
Oh.
Because he's worth it.
Well, you get a shot.
That's just a Man U supporter.
So we've got Moncur and Harvey, who Chris was pushing for this afternoon.
I think Moncur, yeah. Neil on.
Moncur.
Me.
So Moncur was part of the 69 side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to go on, innit?
Yeah. So, right, okay, we've got Bob Moncur in there. 1 more to go.
Is it? We got one more space.
1 more space, yeah. We've got Shearer,
okay.
Milburn and Moncur.
Sorry, I thought we put Given down. Okay, fair enough.
Well, no, we didn't get nobody voted for Shea Given.
Let's make a rule that the next one's got to be, last 30 years, a more modern era, let's say.
More modern. But is it a cult hero?
College.
Like
Well, when I've done mine, I've included one of my personal favourites. So you could have Gary Speed there, for example. I've personally got. Well, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to guess.
The wife shouting Joe Linton, Joe Linton, Joe Linton.
Longstaff.
Probably Bruno, innit?
I'm saying, is it Longstaff win?
Michael
What about potentially Colaccini?
Wow.
Oh,
Listen,
what?
9 years? Was it 8 years or 9 years he gave us?
Yeah.
9, innit?
Yeah.
Song.
Captain.
Captain as well.
Nah.
Stayed with you when we went
Because
down.
he could have left. He could have left, and he's
Yeah,
stuck.
but
throughout.
loyalty isn't a reason to get on Mount Rushmore.
Definitely not.
May as well
I
say
feel like I'm more like you guys today. I'm more like all with this sentiment. I'm like Eddie can work with you people, and you lot are like, nah. It's like we've all switched roles today. I don't know what's going on.
Just to wrap this up. There you go. Who have I got on there?
Is that Kill Klein?
It is Kilclane.
Oh, God. He
Killer,
was
right?
a man for the moment. He came when we were in dire straits.
I'll give you a clue. That's Shearer at the front. AI isn't very good.
Yeah.
It's done well with Killer, but I think just for the hair and the beard.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm stuck with the old ones there, like, mate.
Well, believe it or not, the guy on the right is supposed to be Kieran Trippier.
Oh wow!
Are you having
That's a
you on the window?
I've got him on there for exactly the same reason that I've got Kilclane on. That the two of them were absolutely pivotal in our history in taking us from a period of utter dross to relative success. But this guy here, I can't see it because I know who it is, but I don't think the rest of you'll get it.
You ain't got a fabulous.
Someone said Shearer looks like Mike Ashley.
Just in his skinny version.
The second geezer looks a bit like Gus Poyet. The third geezer looks a bit like Peter Schmeichel.
I thought the right one was Beckham at first, like a fat Beckham.
Well, that is supposed to be Lauren Robert.
What?
I think I'd be Ash by the time I would have guessed that.
So
tell you one player. What about Dan Burn?
Aye, there's a shout.
well, you'll not hear me arguing against him, but again, he hasn't been here long enough.
Well, I don't know. He's been here
It's not a long enough legacy for me.
3 or 4 seasons. He's been here.
But you've got Trippier on, who's signed in the same window.
Yeah, but Trips signed in the same window, and like I've said in one of my personal broadcasts, yeah, would Burner signed without Trippier?
Yeah, definitely.
Without a doubt, he'd have walked over a mile of broken glass to sign. But if Trips hadn't come, current La Liga winner, current England international, would we have been able to persuade Bruno and Botman and Isak and all the rest to come in? I'm not so sure.
But with Burn, you've got to think.
And also bear in mind those first 2 seasons when we were transformed, he was absolutely pivotal.
On that basis, then, can we have Gutierrez then for scoring the goal against Villa to keep in the league?
Yeah, and you could put anybody in, really. It's a question on what are your parameters. But I just thought that would be a bit of fun.
It definitely got
that mask when he put it on his face.
Yeah,
If it's been down his pants all day, blooming heck.
Especially after what he'd went through as well.
Don't trust AI. That's all I would say, because or get a better AI. I don't know. That was Microsoft's. So there you go. Right now, what else have we got to do here?
We're going to do Longstaff.
We can do Longstaff if you want.
Why the hell haven't we accepted that 12 billion bid?
I don't think it's enough money. I agree.
I agree with you, Andy. It's not enough.
No, I don't think it's enough money. 12 million's not enough.
He's got a year left on his contract.
I think exactly the same. Listen, when we are approaching clubs now for allegedly English Prem-proven talent, we're being quoted ridiculous amounts of money.
But he didn't play second half of the season. He barely played.
And he's got a year left on his contract.
And he's only got 1 year left. So I get it. I think his value is 15 million, 100%. If he hasn't been playing, and we made the same mistake with Miggy. I think we originally got 14, didn't take it. Then we had to take 11.
Yeah, but we've got another season out of him.
18. And then
I think
eventually we didn't sell him. So
I
Do
think
you
we'll
think
get
want?
you
what
can
we
get
want for him.
Do you
if you
want
get near
another
it to
season
20.
out of Longstaff?
Sorry, what's that, Bookie?
Do you want another season out of Longstaff? Would anybody say we
Well,
need a
who can you bring in
replacement?
for 12 million quid?
I think we'll sell him for 15 this
Yes,
summer.
what do I?
If we get 15
who's
from them,
gonna
we're not
buy
doing
him
too
though,
bad.
guys? Who's gonna buy him?
Everton. I think Leeds might come back in.
Yeah.
We'll
Hope
put
so.
it,
Hope
put it
so.
in.
Who else are they going to buy with that experience for that amount of money?
Let's put it into context. Win. Sunderland just went and spent 30 odd million quid on an unproven young lad from Senegalese international. Granted, he scored against England. I've spoke to Steve Machado. He is a good player, but I mean, he's not played any European football at all. He's all right. He's made a handful of caps for Senegal, and they've just signed him for 30 million quid. And we're having to get rid of a. We're having to scrimp and scrape to get 15 million for a. Or let's say, okay, he's not Champions League level player, but he's experienced in the Champions League. He's got over 100 starts in the Premier League. Come on, if we can't get 50 million for him, then I think we're being lowballed there. I think, and it's unfair on Sean as well. If people are saying, "Oh well, 12 million." Yes, he has only got a year left on his deal, but let's be honest. He's leaving for the right reasons, but let's not have what pants pulled down in the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's hope we get a sale, guys. Because if we're stuck with him, we'll be the ones brewing where we got no income, paying his wages, and then he leaves next year for nothing. Because the thing is, as well, I'm not a PSR expert. You guys might know more, but the basis he's an academy player would actually represent pure profit, no matter what we sell him for, as well. So that adds to it as well. Potentially, we do sell him, but fingers crossed, another big comes in.
I think what I think Leeds will walk away and then look at their options and think there's no risk for Leeds getting Sean Longstaff because they know what he can do. He's proved it in the Premier League that he is a Premier League player.
That's
And
what Sean Longstaff does in the Premier League when he starts and when he doesn't start. And Newcastle United have always done better when he starts. Just saying.
That loss, that's quite surprising. 12 to 24. I wouldn't have thought that would have been as wide, but oh, bloody hell.
That's not just down there.
I expected that.
You can put any stats up, but that's not just down to Longstaff. That's down to the team at the time and players that were had. I mean,
Well, but you could say that about any player.
but you
And
can't.
you don't get those stats with any other player.
But you could put stats up about any player. You can prove what you want.
No, because those stats are when he started and when he didn't start. And we've now started it went last season to actually starting more games without him than with him.
So we seem we want to keep Longstaff. So
No, I'm not saying we want to keep Longstaff. That's not what I'm saying at all.
you put them stats up. You put them stats up. You think
What
well,
I'm saying is he's worth based upon those stats, he's worth £15 million of anybody's money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're arguing over £3 million to get rid of somebody who's got a year left on the contract and isn't going to start for Wind.
Yeah, and by the way, we're arguing about getting rid of somebody for £12 million who would have went away for nothing last season with everybody's blessing if we hadn't offered him another contract, which to date has cost us 1.3 million.
Can we just add as well that 3 million?
We paid 1.3 million pound, giving him a year extension last July when everybody said, "What the fuck?" And now you know why, because we're potentially going to get 15 million quid for it.
That 3 million could be 60 grand a week to Isaac on his new deal.
True. Fair play.
Fair enough, but if you don't get it, then it maybe takes away giving Isaac a new contract. Is the other way to look at it.
Well, it won't take away from giving a new contract. Just
If you haven't got that money that you're getting for, Sean,
they'll have the money.
Sends a message as well.
you can't argue one side saying if you get that money you can offer it to Isaac, but not argue the other side that if you don't get the money you can't offer it to Isaac.
I think it's free. Let's say
I
it's money.
don't think we've already got the money to pay Isaac what we're ever likely to pay him. I reckon Isaac will get someone like 200. The offer that's probably on the table now will be in the region of 250 a week, and with bonuses.
Yeah.
That's what the offer that's on the table now. He'll probably be able to get more than that somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
We've seen this before.
So realistically, does he want to hang about on the 120 a week that he's on now for another year? He's not exactly skinned, is he?
He'll want that release clause, won't he?
Yeah, but we've
His
seen
agent
this.
will be asking for that.
Well,
release
and that again, I think that's fair. I think if he says, listen, if you're paying me 250k a week, then my release clause should only be 100 mil.
But we've seen this before.
Because if we were going out to try and sign a £100 million player now, we would probably have to offer him 250k a week.
100%.
You know, if you look at the likes, the wages, the likes that Kane's on, that Caicedo's on, who went for that sort of money, Enzo, they are all on 250 plus.
Grealish is on 3, isn't he? So I mean,
Yeah, Grealish was 100 million. He's
We've
on
seen this
3.
before, though, with other players. We've
Wow.
held on. So we held on to Willock when we had an offer on the table that we could have made money on him. We held on to Target when we had an offer on the table that we could have made money with him. And now we're doing the same with Longstaff.
I'm not aware that we ever had who did we have an offer on the table for Target for him?
Not Target, sorry.
Wilson.
No,
Wilson.
Oh,
Trips.
well, yeah, the offer was on the table and then he got injured.
Trips and Wilson had offers on the table that were
12 mil for Trippier, wasn't it?
Well, again, there's no way would I let.
Are we going to do the same with Longstaff? That the offer's there and then we don't do it. He stays till the end of the season, leaves around out anyway.
I don't believe I believe he'll be sold in this window.
You
I
don't.
don't believe Wilson will be sold this window, no.
I mean, you still got 6.
Sorry, Isaac.
No, I think he's talking about Longstaff win.
Longstaff, yeah.
You don't think he'll be sold this window?
I think Longstaff will be sold in this window.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
It's still 6 weeks. And
Willock's got to
when
go
you
as well.
100%.
look at what Leeds are doing, like going for someone Longstaff, getting someone that knows the league, that's competent at that level, and is a low risk purchase at a decent price. Because even at 15 million, that's incredible value for Leeds, and it's decent value for us.
They will not buy anybody anywhere near Sean's. No, wait a minute. I'm not talking necessarily about ability here. Because we know that ability-wise, he's lacking in certain areas.
I don't think you can get anyone his
But
ability.
you'll not get anybody much better who's got his drive, his commitment, his experience.
Or his ability.
And especially experience at fighting relegation, which is what they are going to be doing.
Why don't
You
we
know,
go to
that
Wolves?
in itself takes a special kind of character. And I think Sean's proven with bells on that he's got that.
Does that not show Longstaff's
Level.
though, that he he's a relegation type player? He's a bottom of the Premier League player.
Well, I agree with you there, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So get him.
See,
We've got an offer on the table. Get him out.
you
But the
can't.
offer's not, the offer's not
They're
big enough.
relentless, isn't it?
I mean, you can't buy a player of, especially in this market, of his ability for 15 million.
Cup winner as well, let's not forget.
You
Right.
can't.
He had how long was he on the pitch for the cup?
I know, man, I'm joking.
We would never have made it to the final if he hadn't scored the final penalty against Forest.
We
And
should-
how many people shit their pants when they went up for the decider?
Yeah, I
Did?
was.
But we should be cheeky. We should go to someone like Wolves and say, look, we'll give you Longstaff plus 25 mil or 30 mil for like João Gomez or is it Andre? And like that would be an improvement straight away. Like I'd love to see us be a little bit cheeky and see if people will bite, you know?
Well,
Not-
listen, I agree with you there because that's what we should be doing. We shouldn't just be these.
In the PSR world, you don't do players plus cash. It's like we've got forced to buy Vlachodimos for 20, so the actual money goes on the books, even if it's on paper. So
Jefferson as well.
you have to buy him for 40 million. They buy for 20. You can only really do that
You don't see
when
swap
they're in
deals
trouble.
nowadays either. You don't
Sorry?
see. You're quite right, Roll. You don't see swap deals at all nowadays. It's all cash sales. It has to be
Yeah, for PSR.
PSI. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Or it shows up on the sheet. It's like, we'll sell you someone for 50 million, and then next week we'll buy someone off you for 50 million.
I think ultimately, Borky's point before about the 100, and Rowley, I think, mentioned it as well. It's 100% profit for PSR. So teams will know that like Leeds, and that's ultimately why they're probably lowballing them like the way they are. The problem that we have is if we get our pants pulled down once, then it sets a precedent for the next time we want to go offload a player. It makes that deal harder to get what you truly need. For a Willock, use Willock as an example. He's a £25 million player all day if he's fit, and he can get a run of games, in my opinion. But you're probably not going to get that for him at the moment unless he shows some form early in the season before the window closes. So at the moment, you're probably going to get lowballed again, probably 16, 17 million quid. Do you take it, or do you run the risk? But if you've already been seen to have taken lowball offers, the likelihood is you're going to end up having to take that lower fee because people are just going to be reluctant to give you the actual fee.
and I think the other thing is that when we're involved in a deal, if we're trying to buy someone, they jack the price up. And if
Whoa, lads.
we're trying to sell someone, they lowball us.
Thank you, Random. £10 super chat. Great
What's
chat,
on about?
lads.
It's enough for a couple of beers, isn't it?
Hey, thank you very much, Random. And I was just trying to find another one that's in one that caught my eye, which was that Jordan Henderson.
On timeout. Time out, man.
Look
Time out.
Look who finally
Time out.
stands up.
Because I had to run upstairs, man, because I just can't deal with this. I can't hear crap and let it slide, man. The amount of shite that this old man was he's known for it. I'm disappointed in Rowley because he's kind of going to that side now, going to the dark side. He's a happy clapper now officially. Perfect.
I'm the happy clapper
Yeah.
side.
I just cannot understand. And even Andy disappointed me because he's saying that Longstaff is worth every bit of, I don't know how much you want for Longstaff, 30, 40 million? Well, you're not going to get that. The player is worth what the clubs are willing to pay for him. They said 11. You have, you're running out of time and energy to sign. We need to sign 3 more players, 4 maybe. And we are wasting time. You want to offload this guy. So why can't we just accept the damn offer? It's simple. And I don't agree with Andy saying that this sets a precedent. It's the same thing for the Mighty Win. If we overpay for a certain player, all of a sudden that becomes the rule set in stone that we're going to have to overpay for everybody. It doesn't correlate. Every negotiation is to each its own. It doesn't have to be like that. So just because we're desperate right now for players, we are. Win said we're not desperate for players. We are desperate for players.
You thought the wind is shut in 3 weeks, 2 weeks time.
No. We are desperate for players. We are desperate to get 4 players. It took us 3 months to get Elanga. Matter of fact, since last summer.
Chris, never leave us by myself again with these lot.
I know, man. Yeah, I know. You were trying. And Jefferson's quiet too. He shouldn't be quiet.
I did say sell him.
Come on now, man.
I did say it.
I just don't understand, man. This we're just gonna wait. We wait too long to buy players. Now we wait too long to accept offers when they're on the table. What is going on here? I don't understand. Win wants to talk about the Mount Rushmore. Thank everybody that came back. Half of the people left when they were talking about that. We gotta talk about news. Thank you, Boki, for putting us back on steering the ship back in the right direction. Talking about Longstaff. Because I just can't understand why we can't accept £12 million for Longstaff.
Because it's not enough.
And then the old man wants to bring out his numpty stat behind him, talking about we won every game because of Longstaff. Shite. Or let me translate it into American. Shit. Fuck me, man. I just don't get it. I don't get it, man. It just can we not ever make everything just simple?
I'm sick of telling you you don't get it.
We should take 12 million quid. I'm not really. I'm on the fence there. I'm not sure whether you're wanting to take the 12 million quid or not.
What makes no sense that you guys are arguing over 2-3 million pounds in football. It's like it's changed. Now 12 million. They offer 10 plus 2 in add-ons. Take it. Why are you playing tough guy? You know why? I don't understand that. Just sell the guy.
I'll tell you why. Because the difference between 12 million and 15 million is that 12 million means you can buy a 60 million pound player.
Man, get out of here with that, man.
And amortize it over 5 seasons.
Man,
15 million pounds means you can buy a 75 million pound player.
You keep saying shite. I was downstairs with my family enjoying watching you numpties here on my iPad. And then you're making me get up here and work by saying stuff like that. What is wrong with you, old man? I just don't get it, man. 2 million, that's all of a sudden going to make us sign Mbappe over the 2 million difference.
So
come
get
on,
off
man.
Get off your horse and get to work.
It makes absolutely
for our tour, because that might make up the difference. And we go in South Korea and that, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
Surely we're getting about 5 million for that tour, right? We got 3 million for Australia last year?
Yeah, Australia and Japan.
So
my big worry is that we'll get dumped with Longstaff next season. So nobody comes in now and been buying.
Exactly. What if Leeds finds they send you an offer, right? It's on there. It's on paper. There's the offer. Newcastle, take it. What do you think about it? Take it or not, or negotiate whatever. But if they find a cheaper midfielder, or if they just change their minds, now you're stuck with a player that nobody wants. And let's be honest. Let's talk straight truth. All of us here have said. Oh yeah, when the boat is sinking, there we're gonna start thinking about all of that stuff. It makes no sense. Listen, we have all agreed here that we can't sell players to save our lives.
Keep calm.
Nobody wants our players. It's plain and simple. The bad ones, nobody wants them. The dead wood, nobody wants to buy it, right? Why are we playing when we want to get rid of them? Are you telling me right now, if somebody comes in, this is my question to all of you. If somebody comes in here with 12 million pounds for Target, would you guys sell him or not?
He's gone.
Yeah, I'd drive him there, Target. I'd drive him there.
I'd take Target.
Hey, what's the difference? What's the difference? Both haven't played.
Worth as much as Longstaff.
If Longstaff's available to play if you're desperate, Target's never.
Target, he can play.
Yeah, Target's injuries aren't as bad as everybody makes them out to be.
He can play now.
Exma, man, Exma.
Hey, there's no difference, and so
aren't generally worth as much as midfielders anyway.
The only problem is that I see with Newcastle commentary, is that we want it all. We want to receive all the money in the world for the shite players. We want to buy with a 50% discount. We want to buy cheap. We want to win it all. We want to have the greatest team. We want it all, but we can't. Something's got to give, man. Something's got to give. If you're going to lose money on Longstaff, yeah, man, I agree with you. He might be worth 20 million pounds. He might be. I can agree with you on that. But we are in that situation where we must sell. Why are we fighting around when we can't?
Oh, there's the McKenzie family, the Chris fan club there. Chris coming in with that passion. What an end!
I like that, man. Thank you, brother.
I think if he carries on like that, it'll be his heart.
Yeah, man. So, but listen,
I've got to worry, Chris, that you've run up them stairs, then came on with this passion.
Listen, I was running out of breath running up them stairs, man.
Just quickly, Queen of Hearts has gifted 5 memberships. They've gone to Foxy, Stephen Howe, Joey Linton, Hat Trick, and Toon Bird. I don't know who Toon Bird is, but look, probably one lady to another. There you go. And random gifted a 1 which has gone to Mark Sheehan. Welcome, Mark. Hope you enjoy the show. And of course, the McKenzie family praising Chris for his passionate entrance.
And listen, this channel runs on freedom of speech. So Peter Richardson here disagrees totally with me, and Hold on, let me show him. He says that's exactly the point, Andy. Exactly, we can't be held to ransom, and Henderson is 35 million pounds. And no, Chris, you're totally wrong. Listen, I respect your opinion, but we're not being held for ransom.
I think that means Henderson's 35.
By the way,
he's on a free, but he's 35
freedom is
year old.
listen, man. Freedom is a state of mind. Ain't nobody gonna not have me in captivity. You know, if I decide to accept an offer of 12 million for Longstaff, nobody's gonna make me sell Isak for 30. Like, what is this, man? It doesn't correlate with the future. It doesn't matter. Right now, we're in a position where we're like, listen, man, we gotta get rid of this guy because if we don't get another offer, we are truly knackered.
The other thing with Longstaff is to remember as well is that in regards to him, he has signed a new contract, and the agreement seemed to be that we would sell him. We're mucking about with his future as well. So for the lad himself, you've got to give him a chance. He's done us a favour by not done us a favour, but sort of he has.
Let's be honest.
And you've got to be fair with him. So as I say, for 3 million, it just seems like a complete piss on, just trying to drag an extra 3 million.
I agree with that.
I'd take 12 plus 3 in add-ons.
But 12 plus 3, Rolly,
That's
man.
15, man.
They're already offering it 12.
That's 15.
You want?
Yeah.
A £3 million bonus if they stay up. Worth every penny to them.
And by the way, what does that says to? So you guys think Longstaff should get a statue? You, Rolly, and Andy. That's fine.
You see what I mean?
Listen, that's fine. That's fine. No, listen, I get
the
that.
American twat making stuff of as usual.
MJ thing.
I just don't want us to have a pants pulled down.
No, but you're not, because that's a decision you make. You know, that's a decision you make. I'm not gonna let my pants go down unless I want to. So that's it.
You obviously do.
MJ says the Yankees annoying. That's fine. Listen, freedom of speech. You say whatever you want, but we're arguing over pennies, man. I just don't understand what the headache. And we clearly have proven that we can't multitask. We're like Mighty Win hosting the channel. We can't multitask at all.
Correct, absolutely.
Well, he's going nowhere and he's gone there.
We cannot multitask.
If you want an argument, you'll have to pick a different subject.
Chris, I disagree with you there. Win has done a good job.
No, he's done a good job.
Steady on, Chris. Don't ruin your reputation.
I love Win. But the problem is, man, we cannot. It seems like from what we're seeing from the outside, we don't know what's happening inside. We can't multitask. We can't look at another player, negotiate for one player while doing the same thing for another player. We focus on one thing. We've got the Elanga deal done. And now it looks like Keith Downey said we got to focus on the striker now. We're going to, but the Trafford thing is happening. Like it's too much going on for us right now.
There's no panic though. You're panicking.
I'm not panicking. I just want the club to focus on the.
You're desperate. Exactly. You've said it. You're desperate. We're desperate, man. We're desperate.
Okay, well let's go around then, lads. Here, are we desperate to get extra 4 signings to fill in the squad?
We're not desperate, but we want to get them in.
I think we are.
But what desperate means is that if we don't get them, if we don't get them, that means we're going to be in a bad situation. You don't agree with that?
At the end of the window, but we've got plenty of time.
There's plenty of time. 6 weeks left.
Well, but you got to start at some point.
Yeah,
we have started.
Yeah, we got Elanga.
The best players are gone. Who you left with? Your scraps.
And I agree. By the way, I don't know if you guys agree with each other, but because I was eating, that's one thing I can't do, multitasking. I gotta eat. I focus on my food. I savor it. I look at it. I watch it go down. Wash it down with the Diet Coke, and so I was hearing the Gallagher conversation, and I agree with
3,000 calories washed down with a Diet Coke.
Yeah, with the Diet Coke fixes it.
Are available.
But I agree with you, Win, about Conor Gallagher. I would definitely go for him. I rate him as a midfielder. Yeah. I don't think every midfielder needs to be Jude Bellingham or Leo Messi. Or if there are proactive, creative midfielders. There are also midfielders that will cut your face off. We need one of those.
So on that basis, Chris, if you agree, wouldn't it be great if we could just add an extra £3 million to the coffers for Conor Gallagher if we're going to be slightly overpaying?
Why would we? How much do they want for him?
42 million quid or 50 million euros.
15?
50 million euros
for Gallagher.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're not gonna pay that. No.
Wait, that's my point. If you get that extra £3 million, that's all profit. That enables you to slightly overspend on a player that you wouldn't normally spend that amount for.
Bloody hell, we're spending this £3 million everywhere. We'll give him.
And that's gone a long way. There's £3 million quid, isn't it? He said contract's gone a
a new signing off it. It's gone a long way.
It's amazing what imaginative accounting can do.
Yeah, man.
Look, we've got plenty. What you got to remember
All
is
I'm saying is we're not desperate, and we don't want to be taken a lend of. We're not going to overpay for players, and we're not going to sell players on the cheap.
Well,
Fair market value. And the bottom line is the market will decide what that is.
the club's paying for him. Will decide what that is. You know, if you don't have any other offer for Longstaff, then what you can say whatever you want.
You're saying that. I think that'd be quite
Longstaff against PSG.
Says the fact that not a one single since we had the channel. Let's talk about since we had the channel. Not one single offer for Longstaff has came in ever, or Willock, or Target.
Man United were talking about £50 million for him.
That was under Ole Solskjaer.
Stop. You were listening to the YouTuber man that I forgot his name. Yeah, the guys you make fun of all the time. You're listening to him, man. No, don't worry about him.
And we're slightly flip the question on him, Longstaff. Who here would want him to stay if it's going to if we can't get that extra $3 million? So if Leeds don't come in with $3 million, nobody does. Would everybody want him to stay?
That's the problem because right here, look, Peter is coming back. Peter Richardson saying we don't need to get rid of him. Are you guys agreeing with that? First, we don't need to get rid of him. We've been desperate and lowballed before. He's home train. What is he, a dog? And that we are desperate. We are desperate for, or we have a smaller squad. We have a small squad. Longstaff doesn't even play.
8 games.
Let's get the replacement in.
Oh, then, but you should say that instead of saying no. So that's the reason then that you don't want to sell him now. Stop talking about the 15, the extra 2
million. I don't
million.
want to sell him now because I think that we can sell him for more if we just hang on a little bit more longer.
Yeah. Hold your nerve.
And we've also got to bear in mind that the last 2 weeks of the window, things happen at other teams that opens up opportunities elsewhere. We might spot a player that will go, do you know what it is? Let him go for 12 because we didn't have the coffers in the bank to go and get this player. But if we get the 12 million for Longstaff, we can go and get him. So it always pays to have a blue chip player towards the end of the window where you can bargain with them. Where if you can get rid of them, it adds some more money in your bank account so you can go.
And by the way,
rejected the bid. We've actually rejected it.
Yeah, we rejected it. Yeah, we said no.
What we should have done was just left it on the table and either not responded or given it time. Because we've rejected the bid, which means Leeds, like you said, Chris, could just look elsewhere and get a replacement in.
Where are they going to get a replacement for 12 million quid?
Maybe they're scouting a broad win, which we don't seem to be doing. You know, maybe they'll get someone for 5 million quid or whatever.
And please don't do it. Don't do it, man. Win, don't do it, man. Win, do not do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it, Win.
I don't need to. Everybody's already thinking it.
Don't do it, man. He's about to tell people straight to the face. Look at the English folks right in the face. They're lying right now with the prime minister that y'all got, and still going. This guy's going to lie to him, and the American folks as well. He's going to lie to him and say that anybody from abroad is not as good as Prem-proven Longstaff. And let me tell you something. If you actually utter those words, listen, man.
The way you exaggerate, Chris, it's just.
I know.
But that's what you're going to say.
But on a serious
do you think Win? Do you think Longstaff is Prem-proven? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Okay, then so I'm not lying. See, that's what he was going to say.
Well, that's not my opinion. That's fact.
Is it? I don't think so far right now. I don't think it's too much Prem-proven.
What level is?
Do you want to say the stats again?
What level is Longstaff at?
Bottom 16, man.
Yeah,
he's bottom half Premier League.
Yeah,
he was excelling in a Steve Bruce team. Like,
come on, man. Let me
That's
tell
you.
He couldn't get in Steve Bruce's team.
No, he did well for us in the beginning of Eddie Howe.
Never forget that.
His last best season. And by the way, best. Come on, man. The word best should be. We need to put it in perspective. But that season was when we finish in Champions League against Leicester.
22-23.
That's it. It's been 2 seasons, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
because since then we've had Bruno and Tonali. Well, not Tonali for one of the seasons, which is why he played.
Okay, so which one do you prefer?
Well, obviously Bruno,
Okay,
J7,
then, so why?
and
So it's time to go in. It's time to let pull Longstaff off the titty for once, man. He's done.
It's saying it's not time for him to go. I've said 1,000,000 times. We've outgrown him.
Okay.
That's as plain as the nose on your face.
He just likes to
outgrown him, but what still doesn't mean we should be giving him away.
What we're trying to do is when Leeds are putting in the bid for him, we're trying to get our hands in the pockets and take the loose change.
Exactly, Boki. Because everybody here at one point, people like to forget. I don't forget things. That we cannot get rid of players. We can never get rid of players. And the one time that it actually worked was with Trippier. And plus Trippier does have quality, although at the time it was his head, personal issues, blah blah blah. But he was always quality. But the other deadwood that people wanted to get, that we got offers from and we declined, they have never turned out to be good, and they should have gone at the time. Wilson included to Atletico Madrid. Not even Wilson's mama thought he would ever get Atletico Madrid to come for him. We acted tough guy. We're the tough guy here. We're the king of England. We say no to it. All right. He stayed here for nothing. Kept getting hurt over and over and over. Wynn thought he was going to get 10 goals. He's still waiting right now. Hopefully he's waiting sitting down because your legs are going to hurt. And then what's the other guy right now that we're talking about? Longstaff. We got I think this is the second time or no? Oh, no, the first time. First time in how many years? Almiron. We got an offer. We declined it as well for 10 million, and he ended up leaving for 11 a season later. So for 11, 12, whatever.
And we got 24 games out of him.
No, not at the time. At the time when nobody wanted him. His patch was over. And so all he was a bench player. Just like Wilson. Never played the odd game here and there. So we're just extending the misery win. And you just gotta let him go, man. Just got to let him go, brother. Listen, Win.
Talk some crap.
I spit facts, brother. I spit facts. So come on, man. Rolly, listen, it's unfortunate, Rolly, that you're on this, that you've gotten this low, but it's all right, man.
If your house is worth $150,000 and someone offers you $130,000, are you going to take it?
It depends on the law.
Depends. If my house is run down, it can't.
It's a functional house, which Longstaff's a functional player, and someone offers you a low ball figure.
If I need to sell it, if I'm dying to sell it, I've gotten the one offer in 10 years. Then yeah, man, I think I need to reevaluate what I think is worth. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Miguel Almiron, 23-24 season, 33 games.
How many starts?
Say again, sorry?
How many starts?
Oh, not many.
Well, he played nearly 2,000 minutes.
So that's quite a lot of starts then.
Hey, by the way, and I'll leave you guys to it.
Quickly do the sums.
Somebody's saying that
smash the room up and then leave.
Yeah, listen.
He did a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I should have played the glass breaking in the beginning. Somebody's saying that Elanga has been pictured
average 59 minutes per game.
As a 33
games.
Hey, Wayne, this is the breaking news you started with. Wow. By the way, I thought you were a happy clapper. You started the show as a bedwetter, man, talking about why the club hasn't confirmed the Elanga signing. What the heck? I guess the hosting seat turns you around a bit, but I think this guy here, I might be wrong, but I think this is the
Photoshop.
Well, no, this one doesn't seem like it is, man.
Well, who's it? Who's posted it?
Well, I may have pulled the mighty win.
Duck, probably.
It's a football journalist that got the picture saying Elanga pictured in Newcastle kit after completing media duties.
We did say that this is likely to be happening at the start of the show.
Well, it may be released tomorrow because he was at the training ground today where the media centre is.
It might be Photoshop, by the way.
I
Because
don't think it
He's
is.
met the players because I saw the photo of him in the dressing room.
I met the players today. Then he.
well, he
Yeah, that
they
was
have to do.
that was the leaked photo, which has been taken down now. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was trying to find it.
But anyways, I'm gonna leave you to it because I just can't deal with it no more, man. Don't burn the channel. Don't start talking about cooking shows or anything like that, bro. Talk about news, man. Newcastle news. That's what we want here. Hey, Boki, I leave you there watching, man. Because
Well,
the old man.
you get on your Twitter X thing then, because I can't be bothered with all that shit. Watching photoshopped pictures
Yeah, you
and
got me on
commenting
that
and
one. You got
saying,
me.
"Oh, look, it's official now."
You got me. I didn't say it. I said it might be. That's what you got to learn, man. You always got to put the question mark at the end of everything
So
you say
you can
when you
tell a
don't know.
pack of lies as long as you say there might be a pack of
Well,
lies.
according to, remember I told you, according to this person, that person, that way you push the blame
My
on them.
source, my source says we're signing a Lionel Messi. Yeah.
Anyways,
Hit
I
the
will leave you
like
guys to-
button, people. Hit the like button.
hit the like button. I brought the people back when they left because you were talking about Mountain Rushmore and
They've actually gone down since you came on, but we're nearly finished. Then you've been on now and all.
anyways, we'll see you guys later. Take care, lads.
Cardiac arrest.
Peace,
Right?
brother.
Hey, Rolly, you let me down, man. That's all right, though.
Good
No,
riddance.
I just didn't let them down. I've always been Wynn's happy clapper sidekick.
I'll second that. We've had discussions about disagreements about certain things, but that's what football's all about: opinions.
And plus, what would be the point of the channel?
Oh, yeah?
We don't have disagreements.
What you done with the real win? You assassinate me in the group for having an opinion. Yeah,
Yeah, because in
words like
the group they
negative
say,
poison
get it
started
DUF,
about.
get it DUF, get it DUF.
What are you effing? Come on, Boki, help me out here.
Okay.
Andy,
Well,
come
well,
on.
no, your opinions are well thought of, Jefferson, as long as you agree with Win.
Get a new record. Now you're learning, Boogie. Exactly.
You got it wrong, Bucky. Is that
Rule number 1, the mighty win is always right.
It
Rule number 2, in the event of the mighty win being wrong, rule 1 applies.
Rule number 3, never listen to make you win.
Well, there you go. A lot of people will agree with that. Listen, folks, thanks for joining us. It's been fun. Hope you all enjoyed it, despite what the American clown says. It got him railed enough to come on anyway, off his lazy backside. So it's done some good anyway. So listen, kids, we're off. Smash the likes if you would, please. Keep the channel growing. Or what are we on now? Let's have a quick. We haven't had a count for a while, have we? Let me just have a quick shufty here.
Thanks to everyone that's gifted memberships away in Super Chat.
I'm coming on to the super chats. Thanks to. We'll shove them all up again here. We've got Random Access. Thank you kindly for your tenner. Queenie, thank you for your. Is that up there? Yep. Thank you for your 5 gifted subscriptions. And Random comes back in with another gifted subscription. And the good old Mackenzie family coming to Chris's rescue for. Oh, wait a minute, I'll get that turned down. And they say I can't multitask. And Chris coming on with all that passion, the Mackenzie family. Thank you all very much indeed. Thanks for everybody else in the comments. Sadly, I'm not clever enough to be able to do them all one by one through the show as my more illustrious counterparts are able to do.
I'm going to go to bed happy tonight. I've been told I look like shaking, and the wife disagreed immediately, by the way. But I'm gonna put my head on the pillow with that one tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, that's because they used to see them from behind. But
You're trying to grow your hair now, Andy. To be like David Ginola, you think?
Mate, it's not long before I'm up able to grow tummy, so I'll take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Hey, beggars come to choosers. Hey, look at me, mate. I'd rather have what you've got.
Get your gold chain on, Mr. T.
Overrated anyway.
I'll not be putting a mirror behind us on live YouTube. Put it that way. You'll see what I mean.
You blind everybody. Anyway, Jefferson, thanks, mate, for coming on. Rolly, thanks a lot. Bogey, as always, great stuff. Love your live background. And Andy, everybody that's been watching, everybody that's hit the like, if you haven't, please hit it. and we will see you next time. Good night, all.
Away that